Here we go, guys. We're going on with game number 3 between Turchies and Schmuckabot. It's a best of 3 series and the score is 1-1. So this is Schmuckabot's home map. He was the loser of the last match on Necro Arena. And as usual, Schmuckabot writes the good luck have fun with the frowny face and gets a good luck have fun with the smiley face back. I think these guys are developing an inside joke on this. So here we go. Hideout pretty slow at the start. Aztecs could go Man-at-Arms Towers actually on this map. It's not unheard of, but it's still likely to see both players going fast casting on a semi-closed map like Hideout. So let's see here. I'll do some fast forwarding to see if there is any fuel action, and we'll catch up once the game gets a little bit more action in here. You actually can put advertisement on. Yeah, I know that. Don't want to use commercials more than necessary though. Okay, so Turchi is already walling towards the palisades here. Is scouting his opponent a little bit on this side, so he's found his opponent now. Don't think Schmuckabot has really gotten around to that yet. He's stuck around this side. He's actually keeping the buffalo in the gate here because the deer were spawning outside, so he's luring them in. So fuel age coming in for both players, so we won't be seeing any fuel aggression here either, I believe, because they were both up at like 22, 23 pop here. Aztecs player already seeding some farms, could be the I was going to say fast castle approach here, but here are some militia going forward, so now we need to slow down. They are men-at-arms. It's Turchies going forward with some men-at-arms here on Schmuckabot, but Schmuckabot already with ranges out. 2 ranges for Franks. It's not the most typical Franks play I've seen with double ranges, but maybe he was scouting and thought that his opponent was up to some mischief here. So, but the archers are already here, even without fletching. They should be able to keep these men-at-arms out, and Churchies will basically accomplish nothing here with the men-at-arms. He is running back, realizing there's no use going with men-at-arms here. Also gets housed during the effort, but with the double ranges on his own. I have to say I'm puzzled about Schmuckabot's choice of Franks here. He's placing the buildings forward, so he shows exactly what he's up to. Maybe he wants to go skirms and keep this in feudal for a while, but Franks are just perfect for going fast castle on a map like this. Okay, he doesn't have blue yet, he has some idles here and there, but he's really not that far off from being able to dig castle age. And Turchies, however, is missing lots of food to be able to click up, so we won't be seeing him hitting castle age anytime soon, but he is adding skirmishers on his own now. He's seen the ranges of his opponent, obviously. Or maybe he hasn't. I thought he might have scouted this, but looks like he hasn't. But here are archers going forward. Turchies is ready for this. The archers don't have fletching, so even men-at-arms can do nicely here. Skirms are in the mix, ready to deal with these Franks archers. When was the last time you saw Franks feudal archers on Hideout? Just why? So Schmuckabot pulling back. Hasn't kicked up himself either. He can't be too far away. Okay, he's invested into more archers, more farms. Where is he? Spent his food. Maybe he's queuing some villagers here. Have to say this is puzzling to see a Franks player going for archers, especially committing this heavily into feudal archers as Franks not even fletching in. Torchy is now getting fletching for his own. He should be having more numbers. He's mixing in skirms as well. Anyway, not much going on for the moment. Let's fast forward again. players stay in village. We will have a fight here very soon. Archers turning back immediately, seeing the men-at-arms and skirms here, but takes out one men-at-arm in the process. Six with the archers here. Pretty much a very even score between the players. And six with the archers here, the Franks player. He is committing to field age, maybe wants to break through and try something unexpected on hideout. That's his plan here. He wants to be unexpected, playing double range archers as Franks. And he's facing roughly the same numbers here. Third cheese could already add eagles if he wanted to, just to prepare for the change. His third cheese is behind in eco, strictly speaking here. Seems like Schmuckapod has better farms working for him. Obviously, being Franks, he gets the upgrades for free, but we will see some fighting here now. Fletching versus, yeah, both are fletching, but Purchase's skirms have armor as well. But Turchis outnumbered here, is fighting with 11 against 19-20 archers here. Not boding too well for this guy. And the Franks player now chasing forward. Still has a way to go to reach next age. Where is he spending his food? He's queuing villagers. Okay, might be getting some upgrades as well. I'm not sure, but here he should be looking to breaking through now, I guess. So fires away at Palisade now. Will there be any quick walling behind? There's also one builder going forward. Two builders going to drop a tower. So Frank's playing archers and towers here. Well, actually castles his tower and places it straight at the entrance here. Doesn't want any archers to get out here. So he may be trying to force third cheese here to make some make a new hole of his own, but the abandons the tower, builds it behind her instead. So this is the Franks towers and archer rush. Never ever seen before on hideout. Or maybe not never ever, but it's not too common. Oh yeah, Schmuckapod even laming the deer of his volunteer. What's this eco situation like for churches here? Is very, very far behind in gold. Archers are free to run in now. Hey! I have a too. Thanks, the ghost. In exchange, you get my own recording of the main team as a sub alert. So that's me playing the horn. Yoo! First sub. Thanks, man. So no. So Schmuckapod doing some serious damage here. He's broken in. He shouldn't pull back out now. He's about to reach cast stage. They will be matched up here, getting crossbows, both of them most likely. And here military counts now 31 to 16, so there's actually 3 ranges supplying support for third cheese here. Should leave him in a position to defend here, and Schmuckapod, he needs to dodge the TC fire here. But dropping another tower, this is a very unique Frank strat, I must say. There's not even a stable added. And going for the towers and not the castle drops here. Now wants to make some space for more units here. Both taking crossbow now, but it's going to be Schmuckapod with the majority here in numbers. Third cheese dropping a siege workshop. The Schmuckapod could deny this, especially when crossbow kicks in any moment now. Look here. Crossbow's in before for third cheese actually. This could be dangerous for the Franks player playing archers into crossbows here. Very, very unusual. The crossbow is in, and there are 30 crossbows now fighting 15, and Turchis will need to bail here. Turchis adding skirms from 3 ranges here, so he is desperately trying to fight this off. But Shmakabod retreats a little bit, has some towers working for him in here. Imagine if he didn't place these towers, he would actually already be able to afford a Frank's castle. So looking grim for Turchis here now. He is still only on 1 TC. He goes for his opponent as well, actually, but this is his opponent who is on the offensive. If I didn't know better, I would think he was playing Saracens here, but he is playing Franks, and he's playing mass crossbow as Franks, and still hasn't added a single stable. So this is a Franks player wanting to win without using their strength at all, it seems. But Shmakabot has a score lead, he has the more kills, it's 30 to 12. He's certainly caught his opponent off guard here. And now fires away at the production buildings here, adding a Mangadal as well. This could help to take out production here. Turchis' eco. He seems to have huge struggles getting to gold, but I think he plans on expanding to the side. That could be a key moment there, expanding to get some gold from the side there, so he could add army of his own. He could spam skirmishers forever, of course, but without the unique tech, they are just regular skirms for Turchis as well. Aztecs have a unique tech, but look at Shmakabad here taking out the reinforcements, doing a real power play here as Franks and playing crossbows only. And another Mangonel out for Shmakabad. He misses on Turchis' Mangonel there, and Turchis' Mangonel is chasing the heap of crossbows here, also with some skirms in the mix. Can they land a good hit here now? That's the question. Shmakabad dodges the Mangonel nicely, gets some hits in, gets another shot. Let's see if he can micro this down. He's targeting farms now. I believe that was a misclick, but he's focusing some skirms as well. Turchis is not producing at all at the moment. He did lose a Mangonel to something there, maybe another Mangonel shot again, but Turchis is once again losing his army. He's playing 11 military against 40 now. It's idled severely here, or actually only 6 idles, but still not much working for him. There are some gold mining going on here, but there isn't really any option to produce a lot of military here. We see one Mangonel in queue here. 2 Mangonels in queue for our red player, who will shortly be taking out the TC as well, I'm sure. So desperately adding a TC, I like that. That could potentially defend against archers, but unfortunately it's never going to be allowed to go up if Shmakabad spots this in time. Let's see here what this Fog of War is like. Yeah, I think he can see the foundation, but he needs to dodge Mangonels as well, so even amidst all the panic here, all things considered, Turchis is defending quite nicely here. Shmakabad splits up his archer stall, splits here as well, dodging some Mangonel shots. And leaves Turchis with less army again. His Mangonel still being alive, but there are 3 Mangonels from Shmakabad, and it would be tough if Shmakabad would be tough to beat back Shmakabad in this game, considering Shmakabad has double the villager count, he has more military, he has a better KD, should be having the superior eco here as well. Yeah, for sure he does. His only weakness maybe being that Turchis has expanded, he could flee and get away from him. Oh, nice hit again there, gets 1 Mangonel, almost 2, gets another one. Yeah, a lot of Shmakabads here, finally a castle for the Franks. And I think I heard a stable being added as well, now wants to get the raids in here. So Turchis adding yet another siege workshop. He keeps his Mangonel alive, he has some skirms ready to work for him, but he's so behind. The only thing that could potentially save him now is Aztec Eco. This, I was thinking this might be a TC, but that's actually a university being forced up here. So Third Cheese, desperate for some education here, wants to teach his own skirms to fire more accurately. So another mango. If Third Cheese is patient here, he could get crossbow himself, but Schmackapod, he realizes that there is mining going on here, and Third Cheese flees yet again, but guess what, there are knights on the field now, or should be soon. Yeah, Third Cheese is not allowed to repeat saves. That's a mistake that you're not the only one who has made, but from the looks of it, Third Cheese, I don't want to be rude here, but you don't look in the best spot here, and I think since if you shouldn't advance from this set, I don't think that rule violation is something we will follow up. So let's see here. Well, it's not over yet. We'll see, guys. So Third Cheese hunting the crossbows now with the mangonels and skirms, but on the other side, where are these guys going? Are you going to drop a sneaky TC or something here and have some fun, or what's the play here? Just chasing for a moment, doing some scouting on this side. About to get some decent hits in on the crossbow group here, but dodges it. Knights with +1, and these are having a community meeting over here, these villagers, men and women, conferring what the heck are we supposed to do now that our base is lost. So Knights out on the field to deal with the mangonels here, not a moment too soon for Schmackapod here, but he's taking down all 4 mangonels of Third Cheese here. Monastery going down for Third Cheese. It's too late, unfortunately. Ah, you were looking for gold. I see. Yeah, that's what hideout map gens can do for you. Sometimes you have all the rest on one side. I have to say it's pretty impressive of Schmackapod here to keep so many crossbows alive during all of this aggression as well. But Third Cheese stays alive with a bunch of gold miners here. Unfortunately, not finding anything to mine here. Looks like Third Cheese's TC will go down. He can afford one more. He has one more over here as well, so his eco isn't completely lost, but he's judging from the score, he's very far behind here and has to struggle a lot for a way back. Can Schmackapod see this movement over here? I think Third Cheese just passed him here. Got lucky, but the GG is called and it will be Schmackapod advancing to the next round. GG, well played, frowny face again. Schmackapod really likes his frowny faces. But I appreciate the friendly exchanges in chat here. It was an honor to play with you. Could have a quick look at the stats here also before moving on. Military Ecotech Society. All stars for Schmackapod here. He has a KD of 92 to 49. That is impressive. All things considered, he did keep a lot of his crossbows alive as well. And overall, with the better eco, considering he had 96 villagers total on a 3 TC boom. I was really surprised not to see knights being added earlier, but that's Schmackapod's choice, and he took his opponent by surprise. Defending off the early men-at-arms with no issues here. The palisade is still burning from the men-at-arms attacks here, but archers were already at the ready for Schmackapod, and he takes the win. Now moving on to the third game, deciding game of Death Division. And we'll have Light Kerbal. Let's see, Light Kerbal versus Most Milk here. So the score is 1-1. This is the decider game, which I was missing the rec from earlier today. And yet again, we will be having a hideout game here. It's like Corvo playing in his favorite color, the what you call it, purple. Yeah, this is purple. Light Corvo playing in the purple as Celts here for hideout, playing against Most Milk, who has chosen Burmese for his matchup. Celts versus Burmese matchup you would see maybe on Arena, but I don't think I've seen the Burmese picked too frequently for hideout. What you could do on hideout though with Burmese is making use of their infantry line, because Burmese, they do get +1 attack per age for infantry. Means that the men-at-arms, for example, will have 1 extra attack, and that could be powerful for a men-at-arms tower rush. But obviously you want to go for the fast castle and try to get the castle up for or a couple of castle laps for the Arab buy as Burmese. That's just one of their stronger options. Celts on the other hand could go men-at-arms towers as well, could opt for the feudal aggression, and if not, they have fantastic siege. And yeah, decent crossbows, I would say, but it stops at crossbow, no arbalest for Celts, so. And they do get Scotland Paladin, but they're so slow and weak you don't really see them a lot in play. So let's do some fast forwarding here to get to the action. Most Milk is struggling a little bit with luring a deer here, but he secures it in the end, and is most likely setting up for a fast castle here, taking in all of this food. Fallen wood for our Celts player here, Light Corvo. He also has the hunt nicely up here. He will probably be pushing them as well. And Most Milk now making a house and then going to the bears after. I presume they are now at the equal pop. They're matching each other's feudalations nicely. But look, here's the barracks already for the Burmese player. No winter buildings for our Celts friend just yet. So I think, in fact, that Most Milk might be opting for the early feudal age here, and men-at-arms tower rush. And it's time to slow down and get to the real action here. So while Light Corvo is busy luring the deer here, Most Milk is going for the men-at-arms towers. So he's placing a watchtower. This seems a bit far to the back here. Of course, it's to provide cover fire, but this can barely even reach over here. So it shouldn't be an issue for Light Corvo to wall behind. He could just place a house foundation here now and he should be fine. But now he scouts the forward, needs to react. He's on gold himself, so he could even opt for defensive men-at-arms on his own, but he chooses not to stress out just yet. Most Milk wants to break straight through here, adding another tower. But this won't go up before the villagers have started their houses. I think the palisade will not go down in time. The houses will go up, but the tower will go up as well, and it will chase away these villagers building these houses. So this house might be the break-in point for Most Milk here. Note that men-at-arms already have +1. That's the Burmese advantage here. They get +1 attack per age. But house walls coming up. Light Corvo is defending nicely, I would say. Couldn't this tree be palisade lane though? Maybe that's against the rules. I'm not sure. I don't think there's any. Look at this. Like Most milk going straight for the palisade lane here, but Light Corvo knows the signal, immediately places a palisade of his own. And defensive tower now going up. Of course, Light Corvo as a defensive measure went to stone right away. Actually, 6 on stone to defend against the Men-at-Arms towers that is scouted just in time here. And the defensive tower will go up, and it will go up before the Burmese player's tower here, but the Burmese player will also break through the house here and will be able to place another tower, maybe. Or he might be bailing on the whole thing, pulling his villagers back and try to get to the boom instead. Let's look at the eco setup. Lots of wood for Light Corvo. And not as healthy an eco for most milk, obviously going for a very aggressive approach here. Lael Levardi, yeah, you're right. Deleting palisades are not part of a wall. Okay, so actually, if it's part of a wall, then it's kind of your own fault not paying attention to that, I guess. But I don't think Necropolis Grail has any rules about these things anyway. So I have to say, nice map for Light Corvo here with the resources all the way in the back here, so the towers can't really do any huge damage to him. It doesn't reach any woodline or anything here, so yeah, you mean Straggler, I know, yeah. But yeah, Light Corvo defending very nicely here. He will most certainly be able to click up the castle before his opponent, who is very weakened in his eco at home, is adding farms just now, and his forward has failed. So what does most milk do from here? He has to continue his forward and try to do some damage, but let's tab Light Corvo's eco again. He's adding a barracks first, so no clicking up just yet, just extending his eco, adding some villagers. And here goes another offensive tower. Almost got a villager there, but I believe Light Corvo saved him in the last moment. But look at the eco tab here, is just so much healthier eco for Light Corvo here. He's just keeps producing instead of stressing for Castle Edge. He made the barracks maybe as a defensive measure or to be able to get archery ranges up. Men-at-Arms break through again though. Where are the forward villagers at this point? They are garrisoned in here. But the Men-at-Arms could go in this direction with Light Corvo on the alert again. He defends nicely here with quick walls, forcing these Men-at-Arms to go straight for the TC or alternatively try to break through a house here. And another forward tower goes down for most milk, and instead of continuing the towers, he goes for laning the outside resources of Light Corvo, but that shouldn't bother Light Corvo too much. He has gold inside his base for a good while longer here. And this house can just be repaired and it's fine. And now let's tab back to the villager counts here. Light Corvo with only a 4 villager lead, but bear in mind that there are also 5 villagers forward for most Blake, so effectively this is a 9 villager lead for Light Corvo at least. Well, the Tarps will want to get out of here. They're desperately trying to break out of these palisades here. But they're only, of course, making space for the villagers here to walk the long way around for some reason. There was an opening here, so I don't really see why he would choose to break them in on this side. Could be an effort to try and hide them out a little bit. Let's take a quick look at most Milk's eco. So he's adding farms as well, but Light Corvo perfectly set up for Castle H. Click up, he has the range now. He has the blacksmith and he's up to Castle H, something most Milk still needs to work a bit on to be able to afford. Defensive towers going up for Light Corvo again, but once he hits Castle H, he will have faster firing mangonels working for him, and any forward towers will just easily die to siege attacks. So most milks chooses to sustain his forward, trying to make life difficult for Light Corvo yet again, but archery range is up. Light Corvo could get some archers out, snipe villagers. Will finish his tower approximately at the same time as his opponent here. And most milk needs to garrison here to keep him alive. He does, and but that's 5 arrows against 4 arrows here, so most milk's tower is the one with taking more damage. Men-at-Arms breaking through the palisades yet again. They might be looking to target this tower now, but that's also dangerously close to the TC. So taking down this tower with Men-at-Arms, but not at any cost here. Loses 1 Man-at-Arm in the process. Light Corvo now 91% Castle Age. Most milk also reaches Castle Age here, but looking at resources here, especially floating so much wood for Light Corvo, he could adjust that with a market later on if he gets a market app. And it's just Light Corvo's looks very nice for Light Corvo here. Now adding a defensive siege workshop could be easily deal with the towers then, and forward villagers. He's actually even taking into pikemen here. Is he worried about maybe elephants from the Burmese player, or did he scout this stable foundation going up? That could be. No, doesn't see it. So what's most milk's continuation going to be here? Is it elephants? And is Light Corvo predicting that elephants may come on the field? All Light Corvo needs to do is add a monastery in the event of elephants. But there are knights. You could still add a monastery to convert knights. Celts don't have the greatest monks, but they can definitely do some work against knights. Now 2 mangonels firing and an attack ground here could do wonders against men-at-arms here. And TC Fire helping out as well, and the man-at-arms of the Maurice player is history. Now a castle will go up here, so Iron Bike could come on the field here. So a bit unfortunate for Light Corvo here, but if he gets lucky and the pikes go in this direction, he might actually see the castle going up, and he could send the mangonels forward and deal with this castle. But sneaky castle on the hill for most milk here. I believe it will go up, and that makes it slightly tougher for Light Corvo here, but again, it doesn't really deny anything, but it allows for Iron Bike creation, which most milk seems to be able to afford now. Pikes on the field, defensive castle coming up. Did Light Corvo see it after all? Yeah, he sees the foundation now. Got a bit lucky there, but these villagers are in danger of castle fire. Good thing it's only +1 for now, otherwise these villagers wouldn't be able to finish this castle, but if he tasks the villagers around here or something, they're still completely out of range of the castle, so they should be okay here. Don't say that, I think it's going up. But then this time around it's an awareness issue for most milk here. Not seeing the foundation of Light Corvo's castle. Well, he saw the foundation, he just didn't try to stop it for some reason. Maybe because of the siege and everything at work here. But knights and Iron Bike on the field here for the Burmese player. Certainly going to be an annoyance to deal with again, but the monastery is out. Can convert knights or Iron Bike for that matter. Monks outrange Iron Bike, so there's a possibility there. But 2 TCs for Light Corvo now. It's still only 1 TC push for most milk, who had the weaker eco due to his earlier tower Men-at-Arms push, but he is not letting go of the pressure. Now 4 rams out for Light Corvo. He will have pikes to support it as well, and if you can get close here, you could get some kills on the knights and Iron Bike, but he chooses to protect his own rams instead. And Celt siege weapons, they fire faster, so they should be enough with 4 rams here to take out the castle, especially with pikes to back it up. And all in all, still more production for Light Corvo here. Ironbite nicely deals with the Rams here, though. They don't really reach the castle foundation here, but at the same time the Ironbite can't let the Pikes catch up with them, because then they go down like flies, like this. But that's one Ram down, maybe two to Ironbite here, but in exchange the Ironbite go down as well. And now suddenly most build doesn't have any military to deal with Rams battling at the castle. He maybe can't really, he has some stone so he could do some repairs, but obviously needs to deal with the attack as well. And these Rams are tough here, they fire slightly faster, being Celts as well, so it's easier to take out castle overall. Ironbite production repairs at work here too. Ironbite out. They should be able to take out the last Ram now, but this is costly. Repairs for the Burmese player is now at 100 stone. He even sold some stone for to get gold in the bank there, I believe. But the castle stays up. Light Corvo now has Mold Raiders in the castle. Maybe he's planning a counterattack soon. We will see what's coming up next. Also kind of house walling here for most build, but that's mostly just a stray villager here being put to work so as he won't get housed himself. Light Corvo still producing Pikes and Rams. He might be going for another push from the Siege Workshop here. 4 Rams now. Maybe he will need another one before he dares to charge again. So no player has gone for the relics just yet. That's understandable, as they are both busy attacking and defending. But the castle is back to full HP here. Military count very much higher for Light Corvo here now. That's of course some Rams and maybe some Wold Raiders as well. Yeah. So Ironbite on this side now. Could the Wold Raiders deal with these? Probably not, because if they get close, they will. Oh, look at them just taking out the weak house here. Has to dodge tower fire there though. If Light Corvo gets to guard tower, that could probably be a decent defense against the Ironbite here in these numbers anyway. But the Pikes run in, and there's tower fire to cover it, and the Ironbite need to bail and get back out. But meanwhile, Light Corvo will get another house wall up, which could be denied by the Ironbite, of course, but it's all just a distraction to get the Rams in to fire at most Milt's castle yet again here, with Pikes following the Rams as usual and guarding them to make sure that the Rams can get some nice hits in here. And most Milk still floating some stone, so he could repair again. He's taking resources on this side as well, but now 2 more Rams firing away at castle, and Pikes as well helping out. And once the Ironbite ungarrisons, the Pikes can try to get attacks in. Wold Raiders on the field as well. They should easily be able to run and catch up with the Ironbite. So Pikes yet again here, more Rams being added as well. This forward castle will surely go down at sooner rather than later here, as Light Corvo sends more and more Rams in here. But is most Milk able to sustain his eco at home? He's at 3 TCs now. He should be clicking up to the Imperial Age soon if that's his intention here. Light Corvo far away from Imperial Age, but if this castle goes down in time, then suddenly most Milk will not have the buildings he needs to click up. So he's placing a monastery here, but he's missing the second castle age building here. So even if he managed to click him after all. Okay, so you don't need to rebuild necessary buildings, or he has some buildings stored here somewhere allowing him to click up. Pikes chasing Ironbite here again. That's 25 to 4 military for Light Corvo. Something he should use to his advantage. Now, of course, having torn down the castle and everything, he could send the Rams forward. I think Light Corvo needs to get the counterattack going. It's barracks already being added for the Burmese player here. He's taking supplies, so he wants to have some defense against the Pikes here. Maybe against the wall, as a means against the wall raider as well. But is Lightcore going to go the long way around and attack from the other side and surprise stack? That could be. Looks like his wall raiders will break in on this side and then do some damage from the opposite flank. So Rams now being used to clear up the last of the remaining forward towers from most build here, securing and freeing space for light cover here. But look at the bold raiders running in from this side. Yep, World Raiders firing away at the Palisade Gate now. I don't think there will be any quick welling in time for most milk here. They will break through. He's taking them by surprise. It's on the far side of his base, and meanwhile this allows for Lightcover to tear down some houses and do a siege forward on this side. Castle going up on the hill here for most milk though, and he is in the Imperial Age, but he can't really support match production here. And World Raiders doing exactly what they are called. They are raiders, so they're running around sniping villagers here. Has to dodge TC fire though, which Light Corvo Peasant Engineer does nicely. And Light Corvo's eco setup is missing a lot of food. He's probably taking into upgrades and other stuff here, but World Raiders are doing work for him here. Needs to dodge TC fire again. And they seem to be doing nicely against Long Swordsman for now as well, even though there is some extra attack here from the Burmese player. Wonder if most milk expected a Keltspeak could be. I mean, I guess it's not the most uncommon pick for hideout. Celts will be strong overall on most maps, honestly. They have the fantastic boom with the quicker wood gathering. And late game Celts almost unbeatable. And Light Corvo has kept at least one ram alive here. Could be that Long Swordsman on this side have dealt with. No, look at this. He's sneaking over. He snuck the ramps all over to this side. What map awareness from Light Corvo? There's nothing to fight for on this side. There aren't any resources, only relics. But here are the Rams. Imperial Age will kick in, and the Celt Death Ball could just get running here. Not too much army to support it though, but getting Elite Walled Raider now. Does he have some units in stock here somewhere? It's 14 military for our Celt player here. These Rams will go down without doing anything to Long Swordsman. That's a pity for Light Corvo. If he had just held on for a little while longer, these could have been siege rams and done some serious stuff here. But most milk is back forward now with the two-handed swordsman of Burmese. Also strong two-handed swordsman, considering they have the plus extra attack that you get per age for the Burmese infantry, and is now also getting the Imperial, the Castle Age armor tech, while Light Corvo is getting the Imperial plate mail armor defense for his infantry. He's also gathering a lot of stone. Doesn't really have too much to deal with this trouble. I think you could sacrifice the World Raiders here to get the tread. They would get the tread down rather quickly. I think they should be able to do that before the 200 swordsmen can clean them up. Let's see. Yep, Trap goes down. Nice use of the World Raiders, Elite World Raiders in fact now. So they have superior attack, but actually seems to have better armor as well. So that, but yeah, okay, they're actually at 200 swordsmen have more attack, but World Raiders have more armor. So could still be trading decently, but Light Corvo, if he wants to go with the Worlds, I have a tough time believing that World Raiders could counter champs, but they do move faster, they attack faster, so I guess they will trade somewhat evenly. But then there's Burmese. Do Burmese get champions, by the way? Maybe they don't. Need to check this. They get champion. 13 plus 1 and more HP. So the champions will have more HP, but they are slower. So means it will be 13 plus 4 for the Burmese champions, and then 80 and more armor for World Raiders. No, I think the World Raiders should still win, considering they have more armor and nearly the same attack, but that remains to be seen. Let's see here. Light Corvo getting a little choke point here as well, so the tower actually helps out here. And now Molsnik has had enough of the sneaks on this side, so he actually stonewalls this side, doesn't want to let Light Corvo get over here with any attack. But Light Corvo just misses the castle on the hill here. He actually doesn't know that there's a castle here, but he runs in with World Raiders again, wants to raid. Burmese player hasn't taken champion though. He seems to be struggling a little bit with gold here. Of course, he spent gold on his militia line and other means of production here, but World Raiders doing work again, keeping the villager count down for the Burmese player. Pretty even in villager counts now, but more military for most milk. There's lots of 200 swordsmen on the field there. But the World Raiders are here to raid, so they just outrun the 200 swordsmen and go to kill villagers instead. But they could be flanked here from the other side. They're losing 1-1. Yeah, let's see. 13 plus 2, that must be the attack then. Because is this the melee armor and this is the range armor maybe? Then they have less melee armor. And Light Corvo, he taps out, calls the GG, sees that there is no way to catch up with the military numbers of most milk. We in the end get return from his strong early game forward. Looks like Light Corvo was about to drop a castle here or something, but he didn't get there in time. Another forward castle for the Burmese player here as well. Taking map control and taking the win home. GG's for both players here. Was a pretty even set, but it's most milk getting the win in the end. So let's browse through the stats here a bit. Impressive that most milk managed to get back into the eco lead here. He ended up with the villager high here and some relic gold. KD also 110 to 67. It's just spreading out army and raiding early on and not allowing expansion from his opponent here. And with more food collected and more, nearly as much gold collected, but he seemed to be struggling a little bit with gold in the end, so maybe it wasn't entirely over. But the earlier imp also bought him a window for attack here. So let's do another one here. So I'm going to do a Adept division set now. It's one of the admins of the tournament playing actually. This is Son Remo versus Giovanni. And that is it here. So here we go. So while we're casting Necropolis Grail Cup here, it's played on fast speed, as you can see up here. Unfortunately, with playback, it plays back in normal speed, so it's not going to look like fast speed. First map of the tournament, it's a best of 3 for all players in the initial rounds. First map is always graveyards. The overall team is Necropolis Grail, so it will be like spooky graveyard style maps all over the place, looking at tombstones and this and that here. Also for graveyards, pretty rich on gold overall, and you see Giovanni here playing as Byzantines. They good counter to civs that tend to go archers or these kinds of things, because they have such cheap trash units like skirms, and in the event of cavalry they have cheap spears as well. But Son Remo here going with the obvious pick for a map like this with so many relics. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 relics, maybe 10 total. And with Aztecs getting plus 33% gold for the relics, Aztecs is an extra solid pick for a map like this. 1350 versus 1200. Okay, thanks for checking the ratings here. Could be nice, yes. So Byzantines may be meant as kind of a counter pick to Aztecs here. Byzantines have good monks as well, if the should come some monk micro into play here, but Aztecs obviously even stronger monks with extra HP for tech they research. Pond disposition here, there's always the opportunity to dock for fish in the ponds and graveyards here, so in the middle, not too bad. But in the back here, huge pond for Giovanni to take advantage of, and he's about to spot it here. He sees that there's one here close to his home and one in the middle here. And Son Remo writes, oh shit, was maybe missing out on his board or some strange map. Okay, so Son Remo reveals here that he's not too familiar with graveyards, I believe, and has an unfortunate huge amount of idle time on the villagers here while luring the boar. Could be fast speed causing issues for him here as well, but here he brings in the boar, leaves this sheep to decay here, but hunt gathers faster. It is certainly a good idea to go for the hunt here. Just now dropping a lumber camp, Sondriva at 11 villagers, dropping a house as well, doesn't want to get housed here, so he stresses it up a bit. Still being at 30 pop, one villager could be enough to build this house in time. And looking back at Giovanni's side, he is committing to wood here, so I think he is docking to get the fish room going here. So also has 25 population space already, so we won't be getting housed right away while adding fish. He's eating his boar, leaving the sheep to decay as well. So could with the fish eco here be setting up for kind of a fast castle, but it remains to be seen. I would restart this if I were orange. Yeah, the players all have one restart, and it looks like the pond generation really favors Giovanni. That can happen on graveyards. But also on Son Remo's side seems a lot more open than Giovanni's, right? Giovanni can just wall off here and here, like he seems to be doing right now with the house here, and I guess either here or here, and his base is just hugely secured. While Son Remo's side is open here, huge gap, huge gap, huge gap. Could certainly be cause for a restart here, but then again, you might want to save your restarts for the second or third game in the best of 3 if needed. Barracks is going up for Son Remo. He could be going for a rush or man-at-arms style forward here. He did not take any extra gold, so I believe it might be man-at-arms. Otherwise, it's just setting up for straight archers play here. So wall of in progress here. Sonriva is not going for the pawns. They are further away from him, of course, but if you look at the villager counts, this is also already gaining an eco lead for Giovanni here. So he has 12 on food and Sonriva has 9. That's the 3 fishing ships making the huge difference here. Sonriva also didn't go to the berries just yet. Actually, Giovanni didn't either, but he has the fish eco to support it here, and he has the shore fisher here as well. So Giovanni is going to spike up his food count a lot faster for sure. But Sonriva finds a spot to wall off. Nice awareness to wall off this side here. So now his whole left side of his base should be somewhat secure here. Granted, there are no holes. Looks okay for him. And with some aggressive walling on this side as well, or maybe like here, Sonriva could secure a lot of his territory. A couple of militia, 3 militia at least going forward for Giovanni here. It's still open here, so he shouldn't have any trouble getting in, and he should be able to dodge TC fire as well to get to the berries here, if that's the play. But Sonrivo is sending the walling villager, and the militia will spot this one, unfortunately. This should be the end of Sonrivo's villager on this side. Giovanni was having one villager going forward, but has turned around and sending it home here. Could have been a misclick. That can happen even more easily in fast speed. But Sonrivo going really heavily on gold here. Is indeed going for what might be the straight archer's approach here when he gets up to the next stage. Still missing some food to click up. That could be hurtful with some militia roaming in the base here. It was a misclick. Okay. Yeah, it can happen on fast speed. It's stressful. Now, Sonrivo, garrison. Oh, never mind. Militia turns around again here. Now spots a villager on this side here, but nice quick wall from Sonrivo here. He keeps the militia aggression out. It is causing him some idle time, but still worth it to get up. What's Giovanni's situation like? He should be clicking up any moment, I think. Might be clicking up at 30 pop or something here, and then follow up with, I guess, with crossbows or even knights for Byzantines, but most likely some kind of archer line play here. Judging from his eco setup, which is kind of heavy on wood here and a few on gold as well. There's Fuel H clicked up for Giovanni. Sonrivo hasn't made any military yet, but has added quite a few farms, should be clicking up shortly as well. So 11 farms total for Sonrivo here. He must be compensating for some kind of food income here. That's quite a few Dark Age farms. Not a huge issue, it's just that you need to replenish them earlier because they will be running out of food quicker when you don't have horse collar and these kinds of things. But nice walling again from Sonrivo. You could just fight this militia with villagers now. The militia goes down. Giovanni's scout will be chased here, but chased by a weak eagle, but with villagers sending in to help. No, pulls back here. Doesn't want to lose his scout, Giovanni. So, idle villagers for both players here. And there's the fuel age in for Giovanni. Sonrivo is at 70, almost 80% here, so he will be catching up, being behind 6 villagers, but that's 5 of those are fishing ships, so that's mainly food eco extra for Giovanni here. So what will Sonrivo drop? Well, drops 2 somewhat forward archer ranges here. I like the placement of these. They kind of act like walls as well. So the one Bricko palisade there and here, and he is closing in on the full walls here. Giovanni actually went up to the village without loom, but he teched loom and then went straight for the castle age here. Could pose issues for Sonrimo's forward then, since Sonrimo here is committing to 2 archery ranges, and well, actually could get a market up and abuse that and get to castle age rather quickly as well. He has quite a few farms here. Now the blacksmith going up for Sonrimo as well. He seems a bit low on wood though. That could be all these structures here. They are costly wood-wise, and Giovanni is already adding archers as well, getting the upgrades, which Sonrimo might go for now, or he might be idling a little bit to get to the castle age first and then go for the upgrades. So walls off with the gate here. This could still be open on the shoreline, couldn't it? Even though it doesn't look like it. But it's a pretty significant earlier castle age for Giovanni here. He has been producing consistently, but he's actually going kind of low on gold now. He's been having too few on gold to keep producing archers here. Sonrimo's archers already on the field, but he will be lagging behind to the castle age, and if crossbow kicks in here for Giovanni before Sonrimo can get to the castle age and crossbows, that's really bad news for Sonrimo. He will both be outranged. He doesn't have fletching yet either. Giovanni has fletching. Sonrimo maybe tries to hide his army a bit. Crossbow is in for Giovanni, and he goes to chase. He sees a couple of archers here, and this could be devastating for Sonrimo's army. Being forced to take the fight here. Takes the hill, tries to escape, but how do you run away from crossbows with the superior range here? It's still 30% to go for Sonrimo. I believe he will lose this army before he can get to castle age himself, unfortunately. Why is Sonrimo researching the infantry defense upgrade? Well, he seems to have switched to eagles already. So he's reacting to the crossbows from the Byzantines player here and wants to get to the eagles. Yeah, he's Aztecs. Oh, I hope I didn't write that wrong. No, Giovanni in the green is Byzantines, Sonrimo is Aztecs. Chasing here with Eagle Scouts, I think he needs to prioritize Eagle Warrior as soon as possible. Should not be too far away. There it is. So that's a great reaction, but now Giovanni's crossbows might break in here. Could get lucky with a quick wall behind here, but the archers will get the waller, but buys himself some time here. Sonrimo to get eagles out on the field, but he goes for the raids here. Now with only archers, he sees this archer production and stays by Giovanni's reinforcements here with now eagle warriors. And now the crossbows of Giovanni are in Sonrimo's base. Sonrimo walls off again. See all this time about this level players sending military to each other's bases. Yeah, exactly. If you are under, or isn't what they say, attack is the best defense or something. It's like we think counter-attacking is more important than defending. Well, it could be in many cases, and in this case, Sonrimo is cutting off reinforcements and taking out production of his enemy, and he will somehow deal with these guys. He's garrisoning the TC now and taking the attention of Giovanni at home, so that Giovanni will lose forward archers here to the TC. So it might be working out for him here. But now he's bringing his archers back. Actually, 6 archers against 4 crossbows. Could be able to get a pick off or 2 here, and now Eagle Warrior from this barracks as well. This Eagle Warrior should definitely go to these archers. But the gather points is set somewhere else. It's set over here. Son Remo, yeah, the defensive tower. I can see why he would protect this woodland, because otherwise he would need to migrate all over here or in the back here. But it will take him some time to get the boom going. But looking at Giovanni's base, disregarding the fish boom, he is only on 2,000 settlers himself, but is of course in the villager lead as a result of that. But Sonremo is now in the military lead. We'll gather some units here or there, go with the eagles again. Almost destroyed an archery range here, that could be rather huge actually. But either player should be considering adding some forward siege to take out more production and let's wait. But look at Giovanni response here with long swordsman. He's ready for the eagles now. He's reacting of course to the fact that Sonremo has committed to eagles now and is idling completely at the moment. Has used the market maybe to buy some stone. I don't think he's mining stone, but now he's going here as well. If Sonremo just kept his army at home, he could have defended the military and then played another two. That is true, but then again, at that point when the crossbows were breaking in from Giovanni, Sonremo only had archers. But of course, maybe if he had spared some eagles at home, he would have defended more quickly the initial for Giovanni. So it's the in-game decisions of and the fast speed playing in here, I guess. But now brings his army inside. If Giovanni breaks in here, there will be the army will be on the right side for Sonremo here. Now it's Giovanni moving forward, wants to take out some production here. He doesn't want any of these eagles. He's even docking the next pond here. So not so much to earn from this, but there's a 1 deep fish here and some shore fish, so it's going to help his food eco overall. Giovanni with a healthier eco all the way here. His more villagers working. More villagers idling, but then he's on a 3 TC boom. Sonremo is also on 3 TCs, but has to work to catch up here. Maybe he will transport. Yeah, he could transport, that's true. Sneaky masterpiece transport here. Why though, when he could just tear down buildings here from Sonremo? Yeah, he's going for the fish. 6 fishing ships total now. That means that there are 66 population for Giovanni and Sonremo at 49, but was producing but now idle to get long swordsman himself. Choice I kind of question a little bit here, since there are crossbows in play here still. But he's adding skirmishers as well, but these are fuel age skirmishers. If it were going to be allowed use, it would need either larger numbers or elite skirm. But now at Stonewalls wants to keep the opponent from getting in here. Some palisades on this side and an outpost to have a really nice overview of whatever's happening here. Tries to Stonewall here, but barely finishes it in time here. Giovanni seems to be picking up some relics as well here. He's just picked up his first one. Sonremo just needs a siege workshop and he's fine. Well, he's adding one now, but here comes a forward castle of Giovanni. Maybe we get to see cataphracts in this game, who knows? It's even a double siege workshop for the Sonremo, so maybe his eco has stabilized and kicked in by now. Doesn't look Too bad was a bit low on wood, but he's adding scorpions, which should work nicely behind the walls here against the infantry and the watchers with range. But Giovanni's eco is set up for Imperial Age, and even with the cheaper Imperial Age from Byzantines, once this castle goes up, Giovanni should be able to click Imp. He's missing the second building, but the castle counts as 2 buildings. Well, he needed one 5 minutes ago. Yeah, true. And bet the Imperial Age click up will come any moment here from Giovanni, right? There it is. Look at the cheap imp for Byzantines here. So San Remo is slowly being pushed back here, and Giovanni is sending some villagers, maybe back home, maybe to dock another pawn, maybe to drop another castle in a couple hundred zone. So what's the play here? That's 8 villagers, just looking like the Fellowship of the Ring here, walking over the mountains, trying to get to the dark, scary enemy place here. Building outpost, okay. Is this the outpost rush here, Giovanni? So get some nice map vision here with the outpost. He's also pushing on this side still with the castle providing cover fire as well, and he is indeed going for the cataphract, which in the recent patch has been made slightly cheaper. And I think he's still waiting to drop another forward castle here. He is approaching Imp and will then be able to get Trebs out on the field. He's adding more fish as well. He has a very nice overall eco here to support whatever he needs. Not so many cataphracts, but more than enough to do damage still. And here's another castle, which I think San Remo is just out of sight for San Remo. Nice placement there. Just out of the line of sight. I know, thanks for the follow, Felix Aldi. So Giovanni tasks away some of his builders here, adds now a siege workshop, maybe wants to go for a siege ram or some other kind of siege to reinforce the push on this side as well. Adding Trebs from this side is actually going to Treb push from 2 sides here. There's a castle from San Remo as well, but San Remo is Hey Felix Aldi, I'm not sure. I could try to fit it in, but my voice is getting kind of tired. And I was thinking to do a Def Division set after this, but I'll keep it in mind. I believe I have all the Rex in my folder, so I will try to do my best to get the matches in. So Giovanni with a couple cataphracts on this side, trapping at the castle. San Remo, unfortunately far away from clicking Imp. He's falling behind the population as well. It's now 117 to 93 here. Treb pushing from 2 sides by Giovanni is pretty strong. And he's firstly going for the production buildings here. Doesn't want any Eagle Warriors to get out from here. Breaking through cataphracts on this side. Tanky guys with 110 HP here. And San Remo is clicking Imp actually, but I don't think that's going to do much for him. Maybe this is a moment where he needs to opt for more army and try to hold on in Castle Age here. He will be losing this castle. And is taking damage on this side as well. Cataphract, very tanky things, but they are weak to archer fire, so they will lose a bit of HP to TC fire as well, not so much, but it's best option. Monasteries, I'm not too sure about that. I think cataphracts resist conversion as well. Well, GG. I think Sanremo is considering calling it. He's under heavy siege here and brings the set to 1-0 for Giovanni here. This means we will be moving to Sanremo's home map. Let's just browse quickly through the stats first. Yeah, overall stars on all stats here for Giovanni. Byzantines turned out a nice pick in the end. KD slightly in favor of Giovanni, but Sanremo got quite a few kills in as well, but no buildings raised. Food eco, that could be the fishing ships making the difference here for Giovanni. And also slightly ahead in all the uptimes here. And even gathering 5 relics for the relic high here and villager high. So we're moving on to game 2. That's going to be Sanremo's home map, which is Hideout. You wanted to counter Aztecs with Byzantines. Yeah, seemed to work out nicely for you. Good pick then. So well thought through. We're moving on to game 2 here. This is Hideout. Again, we have Sanremo against Giovanni. Giovanni here going for Bernese, but playing against Sanremo, who is going for the Ethiopians here. So Sanremo seems to like his archer play and very, very likely to go archers here with Ethiopians. Whereas Burmese, Aztecs do still get ARPs, so they could counter cataphracts. Yeah, it's true, but imagine a mass of cheap elite skirms from the other game. I mean, on a map with 10 relics total, it would make sense to pick Lithuanians or Aztecs, right? And Byzantines would be a nice counter for Lithuanians as well, I think. So as always with title matches, I'm going to fast forward a bit to get to the action here. Ethiopians is a counter to Burmese too, yeah. So, seem to be off to very even starts here. Both producing consistently from TCs on Rio, lagging slightly behind on the villager counter, but nothing significant. Fast castle crossbows could be the play here for Sanremo. He seems to be collecting the necessary food and gold here. On a hideout, of course, you can skip through them. Sanremo definitely setting up for archer play again here. It's quite heavy on wood here, 9 on wood. And boosting the food eco as well. He's long distance hunting the hunt, not luring, but that's working out just fine. Giovanni on his side also seems to be going for the same-ish uptime, actually with a few more villagers. So their uptimes are pretty similar, but Giovanni with 2 villagers more. So Giovanni with should have a stronger cast edge here. Giovanni just needs to drop the buildings, missing a little of food. There he clicks up. Sanremo also, I think he's clicking up as well. Yeah, there's the blacksmith market for him as well. But the Ghost, it's Son Remo, not Giovanni playing the counter save here. So this time it's actually Son Remo who has maybe kind of counter-picked Burmese here. So Son Remo, no military production just yet. He's dropping the second TC. But Giovanni is getting the castle up right away. He will start producing the Iron Buyer just like that, and maybe start producing something for the map control as well. But Son Remo wants to go for the castle drop here with Ethiopians. So no archers at all. Does he want to go straight in and raid with Shotel warriors here? That was a bit surprising play from Aztecs, from Ethiopians, I have to say. But Shotels are quick, so why not? But there will be Iron Buy already for Giovanni as well. So Giovanni with villager lead here. So we will seize the castle, loses his scout in the process. And Giovanni probably going straight forward to break through easily through the palisade walls with or gates with the Iron Buy here and make some damage and raids in Son Remo's base. So then we will have the same situation as last game, I think. Each player attacking the other in its base and while being under siege at home. So castle is up for Son Remo. What's the play now? Going to get the gold or something? Or there's no army in production for Son Remo. He might be distracted about what's happening at home here. Placing a stone gate behind his palisade gate here, but the Iron Buy are ranged. They could either get the gate before it goes up or just go straight to attack the villagers, while he's doing now. Almost loses one villager here, Son Remo. But being on the 2 TC boom, as opposed to his opponent, Son Remo is gaining the villager lead here. Yeah, I'm curious why Son Remo would go for the castle drop, Shotels, and TC drop here on this side. Because now he's under siege at home and he has no military presence at home at all. Could have had a defensive castle if he wanted a castle in the first place, but the common play for Ethiopians would be blacksmith archery range going up and then just go straight to archers production. So if you had say 14 crossbows at home now, he could have easily killed off the Iron Buy with the superior range here, because he outranges them easily and fire faster as well. But escaping with some villagers here. And here are the Shotels breaking through. They have really high attack, so it's easy for them to break through the palisade walls. But why aren't they running in? There we go. But quick walls are up for Giovanni here. I don't think he'll let Son Remo in easily. Alright, quick wall again. Nice quick wall. Shotels are high attack, low HP. So I think the Iron Buy with their high attack as well should be able to deal with this. Yeah, just a few shot TC fire as well, and boom, they go down. So surprise attack there from Son Remo, not really working for him, but he's stealing some resources here. That's at least something. He's also forcing his opponent on the defensive, but now having cleaned up a little bit at home, Giovanni goes back into Son Remo's base with the Iron Buy here. And Son Remo not mining gold at home, that's what he's doing forward here, so his gold actually isn't threatened here. But he desperately needs some army presence or something at home to do this. Could do even tower defense, maybe guard towers, something against the Iron Buy there. He has the TCs covering a lot of his eco as well, so being on 3 TCs, I would think that Son Remo would be more ahead on builders here as well, but he is doing a lot of stuff at the same time here, and his raids failed, so that could be why it's evening out here. So Iron Buy getting some nice raids in here, dodging TC fires here, arrows here, and idling a lot of Son Remo's economy here. So Remo falling behind him, but now he has 3 TCs up, but he's not using all of them. He's mining more stones, so he likely wants to drop another castle somewhere. But the Armby in his home base aren't really being dealt with here. So Giovanni on the forward again, snipes the farm just like that, and he's idling all of Antonio's home economy. So Rio is having a presence forward as well, now adding a barracks. So if he adds archers here, maybe he has a chance, but then there's a defensive siege workshop here. Could bring some rams out for Giovanni and just ram down this castle. Or actually maybe tough to ram down a castle with Shotel warriors inside ready to snipe the siege, but then again, he is forward raiding, being really annoying here and idling some Remo here and there, not allowing some Remo to keep continuous production, while he's staying on this 1 TC at home, adding villagers here and there, getting more stone, going to drop another castle soon. That could easily be placed forward here and deny both golds and stones for Son Remo, or here, close to his forward TC, which I think actually Giovanni hasn't scouted necessarily yet. So running forward with scouter now, sees the barracks, sees something is going on here. I think Son Remo may be using the wrong function when going out of the TC. There is a go back to work hotkey or a function that he could use. Now adding a Scorpion seems that could be, I mean they will die quickly to Iron by Fire, unfortunately. But if he gets a hit in, if he could get some nice hit in with Scorps, it's still some decent. So he has the range, so he could use the range, but the Iron by are very mobile and quick, so it's tough to deal with them with a slow unit like Scorpion. Now it's covered by TC Fire, so better option there to keep the Scorpions near the TC and having the TC provide cover fire here. So now quite a few builders coming forward for Giovanni. Wants to drop a castle on the Goldsenslaughter. I think this castle could, since Giovanni has army to support it, he could actually add the castle even more forward here and make sure he covers both the stones and the golds here. So defensive castle going off for Son Remo here, so covers his main gold here. He has a few scorpions to defend, but I think he fails to see that a forward castle is being dropped and will allow for even more iron bar production on this side. So if Son Remo had stalled this castle a little bit, he could have secured this side with a defensive castle of his own and maybe get up before his opponent. Then again, this castle should barely reach the stones here, so it's actually only just keeping the gold here occupied by castle fire. So forward castle, much more military for Giovanni at this point. It's 20 to 8 military here. And another castle for Son Remo. He's been mining lots of stone on this side, but now at this point maybe he would benefit from forcing some defensive action from his opponent here. His eco seems kind of misplaced here. He doesn't have a lot of food, doesn't have a lot of wood. And the go-to play for Ethiopians in general is going archers. That's one of their assets, to have archers that fire faster. So what's Giovanni's setup like? He's also kind of got a eco setup towards mainly wood here. I guess Iron by cost wood to produce, but they have a bonus against buildings, so they're just shredding buildings here, and not being under any threat at home, Giovanni can just go forward and do his thing, try to wipe out some rival space, but he will need some siege to take out the castles of some rival, and by researching Imperial Age now, that's exactly what he's doing. He's getting Havda as well. I think that's the Battle Elephant unique tech. Getting Battle Elephants +1/+1 pierce armor, so we might be seeing a tech switch here. We are seeing a tech switch here from Giovanni, and he's going to add the elephants. So more Iron Buy in production for Giovanni, and he's getting the text for mounted units now as well, so we might see elephants flooding the area soon. Did he scout what's going on here though? He sees the casting, let's see some more farms. So this could be a spectator bug, but he knows there's at least a barracks here. With this amount of Iron Buy, you could also opt for Elite Iron Buy once he gets up to the next age, something I think Sonrimo was a bit... yeah, he's getting there. Could be kicking up soon as well, but Imperial Age already in for Giovanni, of course queuing Trebs once he reaches the Imperial Age. Oh, the Howdah was a misclick. Okay. Anyway, you could have gone for it. You had something to support it, and it looked like you were taking into mounted units anyway, so why not? But Treb is on the field. Going to Treb this castle now, and there's no way for Sonrimo to easily take it down. He could add Shotel warriors, I guess, but they might die to Iron by fire before they could get there. Iron is running in now. I think it's a mistake to sending them in. Just be patient here and let a few more Trebs out, getting conscription as well now for more quicker army production here from both of the castles that Giovanni has here. So Sonrimo is repairing for now. He's researching the Imperial Age, and he's getting the unique tech for Shotel Warriors. So Warriors that has the Shotel Warriors being created more quickly. Train nearly instantly, so they train very quickly with that tech research. So he's committing to Shotel Warriors here. So they are a fantastic raiding unit, so if he can get in here somehow, they have high attack, so if they can get in here, he could get some real nice raids in here. But he doesn't have the greatest eco to support mass Shotel Warriors still. So one castle is down for Giovanni here. Patient pusher, now 4 Trebs on the field. So villager counts not all that dissimilar here, and Sonrimo is making his own base on the other side here. He goes for some kind of siege Shotel push here, maybe. Not too bad considering all of Giovanni's army being forward, but it all comes down to who can do the quickest push and kill their enemy, and if Sonrimo's whole home base goes down, what's he going to do with his forward units here? One villager running all the way around is just out on his own little adventure here, this worker here. But Sonrimo will lose a castle. Oh, look at these Shotels, how quickly they are trading here. And yeah, quite floating quite a few resources here, but not really any way to spend this. Another castle will go down here as well, and yeah. Yeah. It was easy. Okay, joking around a bit here. Doing a somewhat questionable forward here to begin with. Sonrimo was doing a castle up instead of opting for archers as Ethiopians. Could maybe have worked out if he had placed the castle more closer and denied resources, being more offensive to begin with, but staying in the back here and stealing some resources that didn't do enough damage to Giovanni, and Giovanni got his arm by out a bit earlier and started reading already early Castle Age. So 2-0, Giovanni advances to the next round. Yeah, let's have a look at the stats as well, maybe. Oh yeah, with archers it would have been much harder for you for sure. It would be they would be outranging your arm by, and it would be tough to do damage, and even Ethiopian archers that fire more quickly. So, but I commend Sonrimo for trying something innovative and trying to be unpredictable. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for him this time around. Okay, 43 to 27, so not really that much units on the field. A lot of these could also be villagers. But Giovanni, being the with an eco less touched overall, is the eco winner here. So village times pretty similar here. Giovanni up slightly earlier than Sonrimo. Sonrimo must have been committing a lot to stone to get to the castle drop, and he did get to Imperial Age in the end, but didn't really have any way to use it for anything useful. Pretty similar villager counts as well. But looking at the army counts, it was an army lead for Giovanni all the way from Castle Age and onwards. So this time that would have been really different if Sonrimo had gone for the archers as well. Okay. Now let's do Death Division set again. We're doing Leonam or Loinam, I'm not sure, versus Dr. Cosmonaut. There we go, guys. I think this will be the last set of today because my voice is getting really tired. Store baller. Hei, hei. Thanks for tuning in. So we have a Death Division match up here. It's Loyinam playing in the red as Hans versus Dr. Cosmonaut in the blue playing as Mayans. So, first map of the Necropolis Grail Cup is always graveyards. That's what we're seeing here. Lots of gold spawns in the back here. The pawns may be slightly closer to Loinam here, but they are both able to access them. And actually the one with the tightest pack of fish here is closer to Dr. Cosmonaut. It will be interesting to see if any of them opt for going on water here. So Boar's nice and accessible for Loinam on this side, and Cosmonaut should have found his as well. There's one here, and he's bringing in, or there's one over here as well. I think he has them covered. He's about to find the second boar now, so both players found their boars. Should be off to a good start here. And let's see what happens. Hans quite likely to go scouts here. So paying attention to that times, they could go Drush as well, obviously. Mayans already with 4 on wood, likely going for some skal du ikke spille selv? Jo, jeg har spilt runde 1 og gått videre, og så skal jeg spille neste match på lørdag. Klokka sent på kvelden. Jeg har mot en fyr fra Argentina eller noe sånt. So, villager count's dead even here. Ja, takk for det. Det var gøy å vinne. Loinam on the way up to Feudal Age here. Let's pay attention to his development here. He will likely be dropping a barracks soon. Would not be surprised to see him going for scouts, as mentioned. He has the food eco set up for it. And how about the mines player? He's bringing in 10 gold here, so he's actually going for a Drush here. He's going to send forward, well, it's 2 or 3 militia. He might already be on the way here. No, he's not. He actually got housed here. Bad news for Cosmonaut here, meaning that his last militia will be very delayed here, and also his gold miner going back to pull more gold again. So this is what fast speed can do to you guys. It could be stressful to pay attention to all things at a time, but at the same time, if Cosmonaut is forward, he's delaying the Hunt's player's barracks. He might lose a scout here. And he knows the barracks is going up, so his Drush might get some nice value overall here, after all here. So Dynam here is walling in his barracks, building villagers, does not take any chances here, while Cosmonaut's Eagle Scout here is just chilling out, has to run away to avoid the scout of Dynam here now, but 3 militia coming forward, which Dynam doesn't necessarily know about. Be careful with the scout here, don't lose it. Yep, chases away the scout of the red player here, as Dynam is dropping a stable, the Hunts player. So no Wolof for the Hunts player, he needs to be on the aggressive side here, I think. What's his eco like? He is with 200% food, should be me and 2 or 3 scouts instantly here, while the Mines player is going for the Feudal Age kick-up here. Mines player not with too much intel on his opponents here. Could risk running right into TC fire here, but I think he knows approximately where the TC might be situated, so for now he's just taking care of stuff at home. Actually missed 2 sheep here, unfortunate for him, didn't push deer either. And here are cosmonauts. Just good for archer range dropped with from the red player here immediately. Could be a reaction to the Drush, but also he might need that for whatever follow-up he will be doing in the cast age as well. He has the opportunity for Cav Archers, or you could just go Knights. Many options with the red players here. So has to pass through TC fire here to do any sort of offense here, but causes lots of idle time here. That means there's some value from the Drush yet. This Eagle Scout will go down now. I'd say that's bad news for Cosmonaut. Even though he knows the location of his enemy, he will now be blind to whatever choices his opponent is going military-wise here. He didn't manage to see the range, which might have been a defensive measure here as well. So they had a bit of a pause here, but moving on. Host. Yeah, it happens, man. Score's pretty even amongst players though. Cosmonaut walling a bit to this side here. Could be wanted to create some kind of choke points here for the army up against towards the hill here, but wouldn't necessarily succeed in keeping the scouts out here. The Hunts player will never get housed, so you can just keep throwing out army just like that. But looks like they're both devoted into some feudal fighting here from their eco setups here. Archery range is up for Cosmonaut here. Lie down, reacting with skirms already. He's going scouts into skirms here, which is certainly a viable option against Mayans. The skirms could also handle the spears, so if he keeps his scouts numbers alive, which he has done, he could use the skirms to snipe spearmen and use the scouts to challenge either archers or just go for the raids inside here. But our blue player here is walling off nicely, is giving himself very little space here, I must say, but full walling is important after all. He will snipe 1 spearman here with his skirms, I believe, and full wall not being completed. The scouts actually take the fights against the skirms here, but he only loses 1 scout in the process, and now runs in to do some serious damage here. That's taking the Mayan player completely off gold. That's hurtful for someone wanting to produce archers. And yeah, splits about here and there, causing some serious idle time here. Mayan player now down 4 villagers, losing some villagers here, while the red players adding villagers at home at the same time. So skirms running forward, it picks off 1 archer here, 1 archer there, villagers, almost picks villagers here with the skirms as well. Seems like a strong play here for the Hunt player, going with the scouts into skirms opening and effectively negating his opponent's opportunity to go potentially fast castle or just at all to get army out here, because the units get picked out before they can be massed, which is huge. So Skirm's doing work here again, taking out archers, also sniping spears, keeping the blues military numbers really low here. You have to hit Mayans early on, otherwise their eco will just kick away hugely, and they will be able to produce anything much earlier than you, so they can be really dangerous. Their archers are cheap as well, so to keep the numbers low is an achievement in its own. Losing some scouts here, or losing lots of HP on the scouts at least, but still harassing. One would land with the skirmish here, while at the same time keeping the scouts near the gold for the blue player here. Taking him effective with gold. He hasn't been mining gold for a long while here now. He's only mining, getting wood here, and desperately need on market now to stabilize the eco. Otherwise, this is just GG for Dr. Cosmonaut here. Cosmonaut doesn't have any army to counterattack or to defend. Has to defend with whatever he has. Villagers, a few archers, no fletching. And a serious score lead for red here already. It's 500 score lead. Could be attributed, of course, to the actual number of military here. It's 13 to 3. Could be some scouting as well. None of the players are actually going for the ponds here. Maybe they feel they are too far away. But look at the Hans player here warning off adding more military buildings at home at the same time. Now he's adding archers. Wants to maybe go crossbow in the next stage. Maybe we should have a look at Red's eco as well. See if he's close to the gas stage. He's actually only missing gold now. And with 9 gold miners, that shouldn't really be an issue. But Cosmonaut here chasing down the skirms with villagers here. Look at all the idle time. It's 29 villagers to 38 already. And still hasn't been able to clean up the skirms. Did take out the scouts on the gold here, so Cosmonaut can finally mine gold. But at what cost? He's bringing in gold, of course, but he is not in any position to produce a lot of army here. It's 1 military to 15 here, and look at the skirms now running into the gold again. And it's only a matter of time before there will be a heaps of archers on the same gold, and a very unlucky gold pile here, by the way, for the blue player. His only and closest gold being on the hill here. Maybe it could be argued that he could have gone for the back gold first instead, and just wall of here, wall of here, wall of here, and here, and he would have better access to more resources. But that's a lot of things to think about while playing at fast speed, and Hans player is now going for the castle age already. Well, not already at this timing here, but he will certainly reach castle age a lot sooner than his opponent here. But farms being added, gold safely mined, Eagle Scout taking care of some skirms here. He can easily catch up with the skirms and get some damage in here. But at the same time, Red is producing lots of army at home. He's also taking the upgrades for knights here, or potentially cab archers, bloodlines here. So we will be definitely seeing some more mobility in addition to the archers here. Archers could, or crossbows, I assume, could much more easily snipe spears, and then you could supply that with archers, supply that with knights to raid and cause trouble and do his eco here. You want to harass mines as much as possible so they can't do their fast castle and get their boom going. But village counts pretty similar here. Mayan player catching up. They do have a significant eco bonus. No market actually here, but it's going up now. Would surely help out to get to Castle Age. But here's Castle Age for the Hans player. He's getting crossbow, bucket arrow, bowsaw right away, and also adding 2 knights. So says something about the Hans player's eco here with 38 villagers. Not using any fish eco or anything here, just moving at home, adding just the amount of farms he needs and some on wood. And the GG is understandably cold, being under constant pressure here for Dr. Cosmonaut. So let's have a brief look at the stats again here. Villager high could be significant here. It's 38 to 35 here. Good job of Dr. Cosmonaut not losing more villagers actually, but of course the idle time plays in as well. Eco score higher for the red player. In the end, the only thing he was subject to was the rush early on and the drush, and that didn't really do too much for Cosmonaut in this sense. 28 to 14 KD. Red 1 indeed. I wrote the wrong player, thanks for notifying. Getting kind of not sleepy, but sloppy maybe. Yeah, it's true. That's a case of the easy early walling that is on the. I think Drush was even more popular back in the day in the Ghost. I mean, if they get the walls up, your Drush is not going to do anything, so you want them up out as soon as possible. But I don't necessarily think you need to make the barracks before the middle. Still, maybe there's some kind of build to support that. But I prefer men at arms myself anyway. It's easier to break through walls if they are up, and it's not that late anyway, and they are generally more powerful. And you will, in exchange, even with going at arms, you will have the option to defend against the opposing player going a forward rush. So let's move on to the next one then. I need to get the Necropolis screen back up, so no spoilers here. So game 2 seems to be on hideout here. It's going to be Mayans for Loinam this time around. Didn't he just play them? No, he didn't. Cosmonaut was Mayans. Okay. So Mayans for Loinam and Cosmonaut going for the Khmer for the map that's upcoming, which is Hideout. Hideout seems a popular pick in this tournament. It's not a surprise actually, because it's been and it is in the ranked pool for the time being. And here we go with Hideout. So Mayans here in the red, of course getting Loom right away, as they should. Deer are spawning inside for both players, that's good news. And let's see what Dr. Cosmonaut has in store here with playing the Khmer. I just toggle some fast forward here because of lack of too much early aggression on a map like this, just to get through more and more bricks here, hopefully. So you see them almost mirrored in the villager counts here. I'm curious to see the Khmer players approach this though. He could go for some crazy all-in the Castle Age strat, because he is able to get up real early to the next stage. But they also have a very significant strong boom with Khmer being up to Castle Age as early as they can go, so it's going to be interesting to see their uptimes here. 4 on wood for the Mayan player for now. Look at their scores, virtually identical here, adding even more, but going to stone. So we could be seeing a man-at-arms towers push here from the Mayans, or of course a castle drop in the Castle Age. But Mayans player, yeah, maybe he's going for the castle drop. He's not going for any feudal action here. He's already at 26 builds. He's going for the fast castle drop, blue archers. But here we go. Khmer player going for a tower rush here. Wants to punish Mayans for going for the fast castle style here. So Khmer player now in with 23 villagers, while the Mines player is approaching fuel age with 26 pop. Has an eco that should facilitate going to the Castle Age rather quickly, but maybe he will need to make adjustments here to survive this push from the Khmer. Khmer Tower Rush, indeed, it's not as uncommon on Hideout as you would think, and look at him adding the forward archery range as well, so it's actually towers and archers here, which should make archer defense even tougher for the Mines player. He is sticking with the stone here. He is already on stone actually because he was probably planning some fast castle drop here. But now forced to add the middle tree, he won't be clicking castle H just yet. He needs to invest in middle tree and defenses here. But Cosmonaut breaks through with one tower. A few archers added as well. Haven't really seen this kind of play before. Of course we've seen tower rushes on Hideout, but usually supported by men-at-arms and not by archers. But if you have a look at the Khmer base here, there isn't any barracks or anything here. Khmer don't need buildings to pick up, which means they could go also for the archer range straight away. So you're saving 170 wood there, not needing to build both barracks and archer range, you just go straight for the range. So another tower being dropped on the edge here. The archers don't have fletching though, he needs to save up the wood for whatever he can, and can't really prioritize the blacksmith just yet, I think. But this tower should go up, even though he might lose a little something in the process. Garrisons. He doesn't even need to garrison villagers here now, he could garrison archers and get the extra arrows and have the villagers free to build another tower. Ingenious. So now the archers are providing extra fire from the tower here, meaning that Mayan player might lose this tower where the villagers is actually starting another blacksmith. I think as a quick wall there might be a bit stressed out here, this Mayan player, as he has two blacksmiths in building here. But in the end, Cosmonaut's tower here goes down anyway, but he is upsetting his opponent's eco a lot, and he's keeping tracking villagers as well. Only 2 villagers behind, but of course 4 extra idols on this side, so in effect there are less villagers working for the blue player. Mayan player is still sustaining his eco very nicely here. He has moved maybe a few more to wood and sending new villagers to safe sides here. But the tower push has to indeed be annoying. It also restricts any expansion or refuge for the red player here. And now fletching is in for Cosmonaut as well. My player has been housed for a while, he's dropping down the house now, but it's very evident that his opponent is making him busy. And look at these tower building villagers just placing 4 Khmer farms here, just making themselves useful while they can't build any more towers now. So still a bit far from Castle H to cap here for the Khmer player, but once he has the eco to support it, he will have Castle H within reach. So it's not necessarily going to be very much slower to the Castle H than his opponent, who is only now missing 250 food for the cap. Really nice defense by Red indeed. He's not freaking out too much, but he did get housed and he did had to manage a lot of stuff at once. He dropped 2 blacksmiths even, maybe acting as a quick wall this one to manage as much tiles as possible, but still great defense. Towers take, essentially deny Red any expansion. Indeed, takes map control for blue, and blue is also closing in on the Castle H click here. I don't think he'll be first, but he will be very close. I red has the market here, so you could even abuse that to get the resources it needs, but the click up will be coming right there. And if blue was paying attention, he sees the score drop and should be following up anyway. This is just so impressive for a tower rusher to be able to get to the next stage at nearly the same time as the opponent he is in fact rushing with yeah, maybe not the greatest success since it's not in fact denying any resources, but of course it costs some idle time, forced some defensive measures. What red could have also done was just try and quick wall behind and get to Castle Edge even sooner, but of course it's better to secure eco, defend a little bit, and then just be ready for anything. And with his house again won't be having space for any military adding here, so I think this forward is still freaking out red a little bit, but red has more army on the field. It's 13 to 8 here, so blue, even with fletching here, can't contest this army, and he needs to bail on the stable he's building here. He's sending some archers, now some villagers inside the tower to keep them safe there. Tower providing cover fire against the archers forward here. So making very good use of forward buildings here, and here's another villager coming forward for blue as well. So Castle Age here for the occasion, arriving in Spanish. So we must have at least one Spanish player, Spanish host maybe. But Castle Age in for the third player as well, is adding stable, it's adding a siege workshop. Will we be seeing elephants here? Of course we will be seeing elephants. Fantastic, elephants and siege workshop. I can't believe he's affording all of this. He's of course staying on 1 TC at home, but still so impressive to have this kind of eco with this the push he's been doing here. So castle being dropped for red player here. Has some crossbow numbers, but crossbow won't easily deal with camel battle elephants here. Even with the defensive now getting the second defensive upgrade, this is going to be really tough for archers to deal with here. He could even castle drop. Oh boy, you're right. So once he tears down this tower, oh, he is castle dropping. Oh my god, what a fantastic strong power all in play here. Now he has the battle elephant to tank some crossbow fire here as well. Could be tough to get this castle up in the end, but still will use the elephant to attack the archers. The archers have to make a choice here. Of course they're going for the building villagers here, but still there's the watchtower here for the villagers to hide in, and the battle elephant's just chasing the archers here, and meanwhile one villager battering away at this this castle, but being chased yet again. 2 battle elephants. What value are these getting? They're taking out so many crossbows here. And 1 villager. I'm going to laugh pretty hard if this castle actually goes up. And look at the mangonel as well, chasing the archers away here. Can't move too close to the castle here, of course, but such a power play from Dr. Cosmonaut here with castle drop, siege workshop, stable, tower rush, Khmer farms. This this player just has everything. Now 2 mangonels out. Pity he didn't go straight for the archers here, but he gets the hit and still keeps the woman alive here. And red will lose his whole army here. It's 11 to 6 military. Blue actually has more military than red at this point. He has been cleaning up a huge chunk of Mayan crossbows with 2 battle elephants, a few archers of his own, and of course some siege. And still 1 villager. She's at 5 HP. This is the hero of the match here. MVP. Yeah, would love blue got the light cap upgrade. There is a way in, but and he already has the defense. You're right, the Ghost. He could send light cap in, and they would survive the TC fire here. Now going dangerously close here with mangonels. I think red player, he might need to consider some guard tower defense or something here to keep the mangonels from doing too much here, but brings the mangonel back for the person. Look at this one woman. able to finish this huge, massive, many-tile castle here. Well, you could still be adding elephants as well, but there's the monastery that keeps the elephants out. But there are some plumed archers out now. If they run in quickly enough, they would get this castle, but they won't. You could send the diseased archers as well. They're just chilling out, not really doing much here. So plumed archers actually firing away at the tower here. Apparently they are. Well, they aren't outranging it, but they're taking the fights anyway. Clearing up the forward now, and look at what's going on here. Dropping a TC. And Imperial Age is in for the curve. I don't believe it. He's going to be in the Imperial Age before his enemy here. He's going to get traps out. He's going to... Well, Red could potentially get to the click gap as well. He's adding another TC, but... This is just... I don't believe what I'm seeing here with this... massive. Starting out with a tower rush here. Reaching Castle Age at the same time as his Mayan opponent. Mayan, with, as we know, with a strong eco as well. This just has to be so thoroughly planned, the build order of the Blues build here. But my Plumed Archers now going for the counter attack here. No reaction from Blue so far. He will maybe delete the farm, but maybe just garrison the TCs. He does have 3 TCs now at home. How does he do this? I don't... Oh, and the Mangonel ready in the siege. It's just ready for everything here, this blue player. Wow, what a match. What a match. So, Plumed Archers picking off the Mangonel, but taking some damage in the process. I don't understand it. Population virtually the same for both players, but Blue being to the Imperial Age at some 30 minutes here. 40% ahead of his opponents. He will be the one having traps out first, granted if he has the gold and would sustain it. He has a market, so that could be contributing to his quicker age out, quicker production of everything here, but it's just really wanting the revenge from the last game here. Now is Blue applying their relentless, tough, hard pressure on his opponent here. And like we saw in the Graveyards game, this is Blue punishing the Mayans here. Last game it was Red here playing Hunts, punishing Blue, who was the Mayans. So Red dropping University, dropping TC. He probably has a strong eco at this point. Could be argued he's floating lots of wood and gold at least, but Treb in production for Blue. No Trebs for Red. He seems to be prioritizing other stuff here, adding Siege Workshop. But no Battle Elephants out for Blue. I just don't believe what I'm seeing. A Khmer player who goes for the Tower Rush, reaches Castle Age at virtually the same time, actually before his enemy, and is able to get to a 3 TC room while making forward siege, forward castle, forward stables. Imperial Age kicks in for Red now. Now he's gonna get his traps out, but Blues can't get too close to the castle here, so Blues Mangonels are being protected by the castle fire here, and 2 traps now firing at the castle of Red player here. Also Battle Elephants in the mix. They are getting the last armor upgrade right now, Blade Barding armor, so the Plumed Archers just won't be able to pick off these elephants. Now actually moving forward, wants maybe to snipe the repair builds or just go for a TC here. Will handle this Treb easily, actually get the castle down here. There's a monk on the field. Gets 1 conversion actually, but that may have been a weak elephant because it's going down now. Needs something against the monks here now though, Blue. He is adding scouts, meaning he will likely take them into light cap as well. Another castle being added by Red here. Blue can't see this, but he will be moving forward, I'm sure. If he's not just moving right into Red space right away with the elephants. Red taking the opportunity to heal up his weak Plumed Archers here, but is still fighting a Khmer opponent with roughly the same pop and just much more tanky army, more siege, 4 traps now on the field. They should easily take down this castle as well, even being on the hill. So Capturam is out, but what's that going to do in this sense? They don't really see them doing much. 3 heaps of plume archers here now, going down to Mangonel fire. Elephants chasing as well. The monks are out of position. They can't convert now. Elephants running in this direction, traps pushing in this direction, so blue is pushing both sides at once here, and there's surely there can't be a way back for red here, although he's trying to expand. He's adding another TC here, right in the middle of the 2 players. He could have opted for the other side instead, but here's the blue castle stopping this from happening. So TC will go down. Light Cav are on the field here dealing with the Capped Rams as well. They are undefended, and surely we must be looking at the GG here soon. Even though Red is keeping up with villager numbers, he is expanding. He has 2 CCs on the side here. He's adding some farms, but he will be losing this castle as well, and calls the GG. Wow. Power play from Dr. Cosmonaut here to use Khmer to punish Mayans already early on, going for somewhat of an early tower rush into siege and elephant push into a castle drop in Castle Age. Wow. $61 to 21 KD for Blue. Very impressive KD here, always on the offensive. Same largest army, but that's a lot of crossbows, archer units, and elephants and siege for Khmer player. Khmer proving really strong on hideout here. And looking at Eco, Blue being untouched at home the whole game, of course has maybe more income of certain resources here with Mayan. Certainly contesting it, so he defended really nicely against the tower rush, but then when the Castle Age push came, he was falling behind, or at least being at the same weight with his booming and eco production being Mayans there. But look at these up times. 957 up for the blue player. He did go for a, I don't know, 23 pop tower rush or something, 20. Yeah, maybe not 23, but he did go for tower rush, and then is able to reach Castle Age just slightly after his opponent, even after placing 3 towers, adding archers, whatnot, and even reaches the Imperial Age first here. So, having a 3 TC boom at home while placing a forward castle, but that, by the way, was finished by 1 single builder. It was at maybe 40%, and he managed to save that last 1 villager to get this castle lap. So just wow to Blue for this game. Hats off. Incredible game. 78 to 74. Timeline here. So look at the army count. It's red even with the army lead at least at this point here in Castle Age, but had maybe 18 crossbows dying to elephants and tower fire and whatnot. So fantastic play by Blue here again. Let's go to the 3rd game. So we're going to the red player Loinam's home map, which is Tudeborg. That is a custom map made for this occasion specifically. And what's special about this map is you start without your initial scout. So you see red here playing as Mongols and playing against Magyars. Fortunately for both, they have the sheep spawning very close to the TC. It should be like that. You will be forced to use sheep to scout the map to find your further resources, but looks like the boar spawn, at least this boar is on par with the Magyar's player here should be finding that one. Could be a bit tougher to find a second board behind the wood line here, but with some extensive scouting he should be able to find this one as well. So interesting matchup. Mongols should be able to go up earlier. There's some hunt here and there. He could exploit here, deer throughout the corners, but they're not collected, so we need to like kind of like long distance hunt and collect one at a time here. So I think I'm going to, we see the Magyar's player actually taking the lead right there. Let's fast forward a bit and pay a little bit attention to the scouting. Looks like Blue has trouble finding his second boar. That's really bad news for him. It's all the way out here. What's the situation for Red then? He is bringing in one boar, presumably his second boar here. So Red seems to have had more luck with the scouting and finding the appropriate resources, although missing 2 sheep, but now going out to get those as well. So there are wolves lurking in the forest as well, so it could be tough to sneak forward here. But Mongol player taking the hunt here, and he finally found his second boar. He's bringing in that now. He is slightly behind in pop here, but what are their food counts like? Looks like the red player here is going for the scouts push. Could be an early GG here, considering that the Mongols player, the Magyar's player, is still in the Dark Age, but he is walling off. He has secured a lot of his area here, and I think actually that scouts from the Mongols player will not accomplish much here. But scouts are being added nevertheless. At the very least, you could use them to gain knowledge of the map as a whole. We see resources scattered here and there, gold patches here and there. So there's definitely worthwhile to keep scouting the map. So let's looking at Cosmonaut's point of view again. He has 3 on gold here. He's adding a few more farms, bringing in food. Should be a walk in the park fast castle here for the Mongols player, seeing as the red scouts will not be able to get in. Unless of course there's a hole. There's always a hole, you know. Avanzo a la feudal español. Exactly. There we go. Avanzo a la edad feudal. Whatever. So Magyar's player not going for scouts here is setting up for messing with her colors and sieves her. A massive score lead for the red player here that could and should be attributed to scouting here. Blue doesn't really have much knowledge outside of his original map. He is adding a stable as well, but surely must be setting up for fast cattle knights here. And even against Mongols, let's see if the Mongol player is going to gold now. Could maybe be able to contest that. Food count seems okay, needs a bit more gold, and the uptimes might not be all that dissimilar after all. But Castle Age has been queued for the blue player. It should be a decent power spike for the blue player to get his knights out and take some map control. It looks like a tougher wall up for the red player, but massive score lead. Of course, again, Mongol scouts scouting the whole map, getting all the intel he needs here. Keeping them together actually in groups here, in case there's some units or anything to snipe. It's useful to have there. Really good play by blue. I have to agree. I'm impressed he found the second board all the way out here and just is patient enough to wall off and get to the Castle Age. Feudal Age still for the red player. Of course, will be getting close to the next age here. Has the stone easily accessible, a nice patch of stone, so castles and Mangudai are certainly an option here. 3 stone piles within red's walls actually, but red needs to wall here as well. That's the one of the downsides of this map, that you have so many stragglers everywhere, messes with pathing, and yeah, makes it tough to wall. But get some walls up here. Doesn't seem to be any lone stragglers here to punch through for blue here once it goes forward, but all these singular palisades should also be an easy target for knights in the Castle Age. He will have a huge head start to Castle Age here, probably will have the eco to sustain at least a few knights straight away as well. It's only one stable though. So sticks on 1 TC for now, reaching Castle Age. I think then for the red player the Castle Age will allow for immediate 2 or 3 TC boom here. Knights on the field and now off to look for the enemy. Look at this gathering point, it is almost as if he knows that the opponent is on this side. I wonder if he now will change the gathering point for the next night as well, so as to find another entry point. There's Castle Age for the red player as well. He has more eco behind it since he was staying in Feudal Age for longer, adding more villagers. He's TCing now woodline, gold and stone at the same time here. So 3 TCs right away for red should provide a very good both defense and bloom for the Mongol player here. Also nice awareness here of red, immediately being ready with the quick walls. Could also send a camel in, but I think he doesn't want to reveal that he's gone for camels here just yet. Camel defense, he could get more numbers and be ready. There's admittedly only one knight out for blue just yet, but 2 TCs, so blue is extending his eco as well. Looks like a pretty decent eco here, but camels of course counter the knights, and there won't be a break-in here. I would actually prefer to see blue maybe looking for another entry point, which would be further away for the villagers to wall behind as well. But then again, with all these woodlines like this, it would be easy as well to trap offending units moving forward. So monastery being added as a defensive measure here for the red player. Could also obviously be used to pick up the relics across the map, which red should already have scouted. I think he knows the location of at least 3 relics here by now. And it's red with the military lead now, and likely also the economy lead. Although blue has a few more villagers, he was up to the Castle Age earlier, adding his 3rd TC now. So it's not too bad either, although his stone is on the outside of his walls, so it won't be easy for him to get to stone to castles or counter castles. But here could be a nice TC spot for the next one, just to secure some stones and get going here. Now blue has found an entry point to break in through, but look at these camels already at the ready here. They have +1 defense, same as the knights. Takes the hill here, and blue will lose his 2 knights just like that if he's not careful, but the camels will chase. It's quite likely that blue will lose his 2 military, lose his military presence on the field now. So chasing. I'm curious about the fact that blue hasn't been adding military just yet. He's sticking with his knights. He will be needing some pikes or monks against his It's come out. Oh, Cav Archers. Yeah, blue needs to make an instant switch to Cav Archers. That could be huge for blue, actually. But then again, he will be facing Mangudai later, and then Cav Archers will be at a loss. So I think as long as red is going for the Camel's defense here, blue could add spears instead, maybe. But looks like their booms are pretty much mirrored here. Red going for a pretty early handcart here though. That could make a huge difference for him being with the same villager count, but also huge military count here difference. But blue will lose numbers here again. It's being chased by heaps of camels, even scouts here, and now forward siege for the Mongol player here. That could be very dangerous for blue not having any army at the moment. He has 4 military. And if red backs through, and this is not a random spot either, he's placing it exactly on the stones here so that blue can TC this and get a hold of the stone easily. Imagine a Mongol player getting control over all of this stone as well. Could be huge. What could be considered a potential mistake here is that this siege workshop is not hidden away from blue. Blue was passing here with the army, so that leaves the element of a surprise out of the equation here. But Mangonel is being added. Blue will have knights to charge against the Mangonel, but he will lose them against the camels on the Mongol player. And even a tower on the hill here from the red player here. Really wants to pressure blue down to the corners here. Blue now adding a market, needs to maybe adjust his eco a little bit. Seems pretty tight eco-wise here now, is adding spears. He needs to deal with the camels, obviously. But will also be subject to a siege push here and going straight for his farms and TC here with a tower to defend as well. So knights and pikes coming forward now, and the advantage of my girl spearmen is they get the attack upgrade immediately, so they should do very nicely against the camels here. And once the camels are cleaned up, the knights are free to run in. So saving the villager here near the tower, but at the cost of losing units in the forward here. Pikes are hunting down the Mangonel, makes sense, doesn't want to lose buildings here. But knights are chasing as well, but camels have to dodge the pikes here. Very nice last hit for they're getting a weakening hit on the pikes here. So actually wall in the Mangonel next to the tower here, so the tower will keep firing, but this house wall will go down and pikes will go in. They will get the Mangonel, most likely, probably get the villager as well, and the pikes are paying off here from blue. Very nice defense from blue so far, although it comes at the cost for his boom here. He's losing villagers, but he's adding a 4th TC here, extending his base a little bit to the other side where he's not under pressure and will have safe access to wood here. He is housed in the process, now adding a monastery, wants to deal with the camels when or if they come back. And the monastery goes up. There is an opening here now though, so red could get some raids in. He's dropping his first castle now. He has been mining stone over here near the TC. His stone situation suggesting that he won't be dropping another one just yet. The siege workshop forward is down, but the castle is going up. He will be switching to cab archers, or rather Mangudai, which could be a fantastic raiding unit on this sense. I look at Imperial Age coming in for both players here, but much earlier for the Mongols player. And ballistics going in, getting stone shaft mining as well. So he's going to get more castles out, maybe secure the middle here with some castles on the hills, and also get mango dye production going, still with camels being kept alive to support. Look at the KD here, they have barely lost any units. They've been waging their fights very carefully here. But villager count is highest for blue here, but that's pikes coming into the mix as well. So that's quite a few pikes here for blue, and only 7 knights. So army numbers in blue's favor, army strength in red's favor. Except the fact that red will be weak, red's camels will be weak to this massive pikes. But once Magadai come into the mix, is queuing them now, then it will be a different story because the Magadai can so easily snipe pikes here. So already enough stone for another castle. It's being dropped somewhere. Unless he sold it for other purposes. Could be a sold stone as well. Nope, here's the castle. He's going to protect his stone at home and to some extent the gold out here as well. So second castle going up. Elite Mangudai coming in. Wow, not too bad to be able to afford that at the 35th minute. After having a army on the field here. It's actually sending camels and Mangudai in together here. Looking to raid, he will break through the palisade. If he breaks in here, it could be devastating for blue, having his army out of position over on this side. But blue has a 5th... No, he bailed on this TC actually, so he placed the TC here instead. So that's his 4th TC. So Eco is no joke for blue either, but he is 30, 40 villagers behind there. 40 villagers is getting housed. Needs to lead with the forward. He has massive military going full pikes here. But now taking help, that's going to be very useful. And he's getting Cavalier as well. Could be going for some raids on his own, but he will be running into Castle Fire. And also needs to find an opening, but he's running into yet another castle here. This is not a very good looking forward from blue here, since the camels are here to chase, and Mangodai as well thrown into mix could provide some extra hit damage here. At the same time, blue's halberdiers have chased away red's army. These are the ones that were forward actually. We're not seeing any cab archer switch for blue. He's adding siege instead. Could be going for some kind of play to defend against cab archers or Mangadai. Feels he needs siege for that. But lots of halberdiers for blue, defending nicely here, keeping his opponent away. Cavalier is in. Huge production here, but elite camel, or rather heavy camel rider coming in for red player here. It's in now. Mangadai at the ready to snipe halberdiers, and that third castle is also up for red. And as you know, Mongols late game could be really hard to stand against. Sniping some halberdiers here or there now. Red's army count is rising. Red likely with a more healthier eco at home because he hasn't been touched inside his home base. He optimistic wall of here from the very beginning, but he kept his opponent out and has been rewarded for that with a better boom here. Now adding forward siege again. So Mongols have a unique tech for siege that allows their the siege workshop units to move faster. So if red can get to siege ram, he could just mass up on siege ram and just run forward and take out so much here. But he runs in with Magadai, realizing blue's army is out of position again. Gets a kill here and there, will run into TC fire as well, but blue is forced with a lot of idols here, garrisoning both TCs here actually. Elite Magadai now taking some serious work engagements against these Cavalier here. I think the red shouldn't be wasting his Magadai numbers here though, although he could get some more kills in here, but siege workshop goes up, but could go down again to halberdiers here. Rams pushing forward for blue here, wants to take out some production, might be targeting some castles here. I don't quite understand the slow ram push here, even with tabs on the field, because Mangudai and even Camels could easily pick off these Captrams. So blue turns around, but he will lose at least one, maybe two Captrams in the process here. And it's now ready with lots of Mangudai here to snipe Paladins as well. Army count, pretty much the same for both players, but it's very gold heavy for the red player. Look at his resources floating, and GG is called. You just can't push back Mongols at this stage in the game, and it will be the red player here, Lone Nam, advancing to the next round. I forgot to set the score after the last game, but it's not 1-1, it's 2-1 for Loina M, and he's the one advancing to the next set of the Necropolis Grail Cup. Thanks for the follow, by the way, NCO, if you're still in the chat. Let's browse a bit through the stats here, and I'm going to call it for the day. So, not so many kills or death here overall, just hitting and running away, seeing, don't take this fight, run back out, you can't raid here amongst all the TCs. Both players being pretty careful with their armies, but in the end it's the Mongol player with the strongest gold heavy army winning the game. Mongols latest game insanely strong, no stone at all for Magrav's player. When he walled off, he walled out his stone actually, and it doesn't seem like he has any easy access to stone here. It's forward, lots of forward resources for blue here, unfortunately. Up times, Magyar's up much earlier didn't take advantage of that. That would have needed a few more knights. Maybe then he could have broken through the palisades and done some serious damage to the Mongols player being up later. But Tolgas even collecting relics here, and look at the villager count for the Mongols with his boom here. Armies numbers, strictly speaking, pretty much the same, but that's a lot of halberdiers here in the mix for blue, so the stronger army in the end for the Mongol player here. So, thank you all for watching this cast as well. I will be back with more, maybe tomorrow, maybe some other day, but thanks anyway